Hi there. Success has many fathers, and I'm not ashamed to be a father of success. There will be lots of stories flying around in the media at the moment regarding the triumph of Senegal at the recently concluded Africa Cup of Nations. A lot of stories, a lot of heart-moving, heart-wrenching stories. I'll add mine. And please watch me. Remember to subscribe to me, I always say it, because I'll always come back with nice stories. My stories are nice. My first romance with Senegal was in 2001. Jesus Christ, 21 years ago. I'm getting old. Christ. Oh well, happens. 2001 was my first time in Senegal. I was very well received. I went to cover the development of the game, football, in Senegal. That's what I used to do for my clients, for my employers. I was working with Western Union World Football for Sky Sports in England, and I would just pick a country, and I'll go there, and I'll say, I want to go and report on the development of the game, and put it on TV. So I got to Senegal, wonderful country, very nice, very, very nice country. And I was well received by the president, the then president of the Senegalese Football Federation, Malik Sy. Nice gentleman, had a vision. He knew what he wanted. He knew what he wanted for the future of the country, and he went for it. And Malik Sy saw me a few times and showed me around, showed me his academy and all that. I went to see the champion team at the time, taking part in the African Champions League, AS Giraffe. Lovely setup, very modest but lovely. Very modest but effective, functional. I met with Jules Bokande, a very nice, astute gentleman. May God rest his soul. God, he was Senegal's biggest export in those days, as of that time, and a legend of the game till this day, of blessed memory. I saw the Diambars Academy, which was set up by Patrick Vieira, the same one, who chose to put back into the society of his fatherland. Although he represented France, he always remembered his roots. Senegal, wonderful place, wonderful person, and it was good. Little did I know that it was only the start to something even bigger, something much bigger than I thought. Because later that year, they blew everyone away. They blew everyone away with a performance to die for. They went through World Cup qualifying for the 2002 World Cup at the expense of big teams like Algeria. The likes of Tony Silva, the goalkeeper, El Hadji Diouf, Khalilou Fadiga, Pape Bouba Diop. Oh, and guess who? Aliou Cisse, and many others. Henri Camara. They just blew Africa away. By the end of that year, El Hadji Diouf was African Player of the Year. Interesting. And then they qualified for the World Cup for Japan, Korea, 2002, but they had a little hurdle to cross. 9 years previously, they had hosted the Africa Cup of Nations in 1992 with a desire to win, and they did not. So this was their chance to go into the Africa Cup of Nations in 2002 and win that one before they go to the World Cup. The Africa Cup of Nations in Mali in 2002, everything went to form. They were really good, scintillating football. I loved them until they beat Nigeria. But we'll move past that very quickly. And they got to the final at the expense of Nigeria. Did I say we move on quickly? We move on quickly. Then they came up against Cameroon. And Cameroon, see the irony of football, Cameroon was the team that stopped them winning their first trophy 20 years ago. They lost on penalties. It was 0-0 after 120 minutes, a really hard-fought game, and it boiled down to a penalty shootout. And in that shootout, the player that lost the penalty, that missed his own kick, was Aliou Cisse. Yeah, the coach, the current coach right now. He missed his penalty and handed the chance to the trophy to the Cameroonians. Isn't it then an irony that they had to come back and win the Africa Cup of Nations in Cameroon? Anyway, after 2002 started 20 years of hurt. Their football was growing. Their players were growing in leaps and bounds. They were doing very well. And don't forget, they were occupying top positions in the FIFA ranking for Africa for many years consistently. Their players were growing in leaps and bounds. And I called them for many years the Belgium of Africa. You see Belgium at the top of the FIFA ranking right now, with no silverware to show for it. That was what Senegal has been for many years. For many years, they're the top team in the top 20, top 25, top 30 of FIFA, top of Africa in the FIFA rankings, but without a trophy to show for it. The results were there, the performances were there. And I'm proud to say that the 20 years have come to an end. But there are other stories. The story of Aliou Cissé. Like I said, a coach much maligned by his native people and abroad. Even up until now that he won the trophy, some people are still complaining about him. Not good enough, he didn't score. He didn't score. He coached the team that couldn't score, but they didn't concede goals either. But that's the nature of people. Human beings are like that. Aliou Cissé, fantastic gentleman, a pride of Africa, a pride of African coaches. Someone who's given hope to African coaches that we can do it at the highest level if we build ourselves and give ourselves the platform to do it. Not just by mouth, but to actually go and work towards being good coaches so that we can take ourselves and our countries to the next level. Sadio Mane, another story. Did you hear his story? How he jumped on a bus from his native town to go into Dakar in pursuit of football. How he was one of many in that group that wanted to play the game and couldn't, and eventually was able to. He emerged as one of the better ones, and somehow he found himself in Europe, and somehow he found himself in Liverpool. And I mean, the rest is history. One of the most underrated players, a humble player. I'll tell you more about him in the future. I set up a project some time ago. It was about the African player of each month in the English Premier League, supported by CNN International. I met Sadio then, when he was playing for Southampton, as a winner of that award. What a gentleman. Lovely. I'm happy for him. Then Edou Mendy, goalkeeper of Chelsea, goalkeeper of Senegal. Now, here's a guy who 6-7 years ago almost quit football because he was released by a third division team as not good enough. He was on the dole on unemployment benefits and was getting prepared to go and start working for his friend in a clothing shop. Edou Mendy then left and finally got a position with Marseille's reserve team. And from there, his career blossomed. Today, he's in Chelsea. He's won the UEFA Champions League. He's won the UEFA Super Cup. He is now FIFA's goalkeeper of the year. He is now UEFA's goalkeeper of the year. And now he's the African best goalkeeper and a winner of the Africa Cup of Nations. What a turnaround. You can do it as well. I tell you what, set your mind to good things and you will achieve them. This is not the end of stories to Senegal. However, I'll end here. Subscribe to me, like I said. Pass your comments. And remember, my book's out on AFCON history, legends and heroes. I want you to buy that as well. Until I see you again, let's celebrate Senegal. It is a worthy win. For once, it was great. Thank you.